Hello, my name is Jalen Hopper. This is my logic assignment for SGD 125. In this assignment, I'm going to go over different types of AI and how AI can either make or break a game. And then I'm also going to show how the player can break the AI. So in this video, I am playing Outlast Trials. Now, the Outlast Trials is Red Barrel's newest horror game based off of the hit series Outlast and Outlast 2. However, this game is actually a prequel taking place before Outlast 1 and 2. And what's different about Outlast Trials is that Outlast Trials is a cooperative multiplayer game, whereas the other two Outlast games were strictly single player horror games. Now, Outlast is known for its gory, horrific environments, creating that sense of pressure and tension in the atmosphere, so that when you're being chased by the enemy, the player has to react. And sometimes the player has to react off of whatever they know is best. And sometimes the enemy can predict what the player might choose to do. For example, there's the simple logic functions that basically are variables that act as true or false statements. The example in the assignment that was given was if it is true or not that it is raining. If it is raining, bring an umbrella. If it is not raining, do not bring an umbrella. In that same way, you can tell the game different things and the game can react to it. Like, oh, okay, so if the player is not doing this specific thing, if the player has not done this thing yet, then do not allow the player to continue past that door. For example, at the very beginning, I picked the program Kill the Snitch in the police station. So when I pick this program, when I select it and press start, the game will prepare the trial. So now the game knows, okay, so if we look at the different programs, kill the snitch, cancel the autopsy, sabotage a lockdown, and then there's other difficulties of kill the snitch in this one program, at least. There's other programs, of course. The game now knows, okay, so the statement that is true in this scenario is that if the player picks kill the snitch 1, prepare or start loading the kill the snitch level, so that when you enter the trial, it knows what video to show you. You are the exterminator. Only we can tell you what is true. It starts briefing you for the mission. So it's not going to brief you for a different mission other than the one that you picked. Now, another example of a statement that could or could not be true is if the player sits down in a specific location. So when I walk into this room, there are 4 chairs that I can sit in. I decide to sit in this chair right here. Now, you could set up an if statement that reads, I don't know what you could name it. You could name it chair 1 or something like that. If player is in chair 1, like say this is chair 1, chair 1, chair 2, chair 3, and chair 4. If player is in chair 1, bring down TV 1, so that now only TV 1 comes down. However, that kind of statement is not implemented here. That's why all the TVs come down. And if you look to the right, as I did here, it starts playing the video as if someone is right there. But maybe if you take away the element of playing these screens on every single chair, even though there's not a player there, maybe it can take away some of the memory, I suppose you could say, to help the loading process for the level. Because now the game doesn't have to load. Oh, okay. The game's like, oh, okay. So it'll be easier to load and faster to load your level, because now the game doesn't have to process this screen and the screen over there and the screen behind this one. It only has to process TV 1 and chair 1, because that's the only place where the player is sitting. Now we're going to look at heuristic AI in this game. One way heuristic AI works in Outlast is environmental interaction. The AI could be programmed to interact with the environment in heuristic ways. For example, if the player enters a room and closes the door, the AI might try to open the door or even break through it if it's aware of the player's presence. Furthermore, if the player makes noise, the AI could respond to player-generated noise, such as knocking objects over or making loud footsteps. It might investigate the source of the noise, potentially creating opportunities for the player to divert the AI's attention. So you can make distractions, and you could just make noise that calls those enemies to you. So in this game, they have an enemy type called the Screamer. Now the Screamers don't do anything but sit there and look pretty like this, staring into the night sky. And you can't hear the audio, but there are sound cues that let you know that the Screamer is here. It kind of sounds like muffled breathing. And the idea behind the Screamer is if you make noise, the Screamer does, well, what they're called. They scream so loud that it quakes your ears and makes the player unable to move. Now, this is the easiest difficulty of this specific trial, but on harder difficulties, even this little element that doesn't seem like much can play a big role in messing up the player if they don't realize the Screamer is there. Now, there is a way to get rid of the Screamer. You can walk past the Screamer, or you can throw a bottle at him. The Screamer will get back up and it will run to a different location that you then have to worry about it being in that location. So in that way, it also adds a bit of probability into the mix and randomness, because you never know where the Screamer is going to run next. So if we go later, the Screamer runs over here. Oh, I don't know why I did that. But if we run back over here, we see the enemy right there. They can't get to us yet. However, the Screamer ran over here and decided to lay down. Now, notice how even though I haven't stepped on this broken glass yet or anything, the moment I stood up, the AI sort of reacted to it a bit. So I'm crouching down. The moment I start moving, it starts freaking out. It's not screaming yet, and you'll be able to tell when it does. But the way that this happens, it makes it seem like the enemy is already aware of the player's presence a little bit. So this kind of gives a visual cue to the player that, hey, you're making a little bit of noise, be quiet, right? Instead, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to run over the glass and show what it does. So he starts screaming, and I, as the player, cannot move. And it calls the enemy to my location, although the enemy still can't see me because I'm in the darkness. But if I step out of that darkness, they'll be able to see me. and then I'll have to run away or run back into the darkness. Watch. As I run into the darkness, when I run into the darkness, I don't know why it keeps doing this. When I run into the darkness, although the enemy AI has an idea of where I went, they don't know exactly where I went. So they don't come through that door. Where could they have possibly come from? I look at this door, boom. But if I throw a bottle over there, it distracts the enemy, allowing me to escape. So the AI in Outlast Trials, just like in other games, is made to make it seem like it is predicting the player's movements, to see how the AI can outsmart the player and how the player can outsmart the AI. But what happens when the player outsmarts the AI so much that the AI has no idea what to do? Notice how the AI in this scenario starts searching for me. So they go back into the bathroom. And when I check to see what they're doing, they're checking one of the stalls. And not only are they checking the stall, but they're being quiet as they're checking it. There's no audio cue that the enemy is doing this in this way. So the enemy could be sneaking up on me at this moment and I would never know. So if I actually was in that stall, they would have gotten the jump on me. However, when the player is able to outsmart the AI in such a way that it showcases that the developers did not plan for the player to react in that way, then the AI does not know what to do. And I know that didn't really make any sense, but I'll show you. So if I go in here, this is a place that has a garage door. So the garage door is right here. Only the player, not the enemies, but only the player can open up these garage doors and crawl under them, or they can go through the door that I just went through. But what happens when a player traps the enemy in this place? So now I have the enemy trapped in here. So I'm going to close that and open and exit through the garage door. When I come back around to see the AI and what they're going to do, the AI has no idea what to do right here. Now, realistically, the AI should be able to just open this door again and come chasing after me. But it seems like the AI isn't even aware of my presence. I'm standing in front of him. I'm looking in his general direction, and he is not paying me any attention. I'm running all around, making all of this noise, and he still is not coming my way. That's because there is no true or false statement. There is no line of code in this game that showcases that if this happens, if door is closed, like if that door is closed, obviously Red Barrels never planned on the player trying to do this. Luckily, this game is in early access, so stuff like this can be an easy fix. It's obvious that the enemy can open other doors. If you lock other doors, the enemy will bash through them and continue chasing the player if they are aware of your presence, or they will find a way around to get to you. If they can see you through a window or a hole in the wall, they will find a way to come get you. But if you're here, the AI just has no idea what to do. And because the player is allowed to break the game like this, the rest of the level is easy for me. I can grab all the keys, I can find all the keys, I can get things set up and finish the level. Another way that AI is so predictable in its logic in Outlast is that when I, the player, get to the ending of the level, bear with me as I find it. I open this level. So I've opened the final door. This is where I am going to be escorting the snitch to, in order to electrocute him. So I'm going to tell you exactly what is going to happen. The cop that we saw earlier is going to chase me, the player, and the cop is going to spawn in this area. They're going to spawn in this area, walk through this door. So what am I going to do? I'm going to lock this door. And furthermore, I'm going to walk out a little bit and then place a mine down. So now, when the cop walks through, not only will he be stopped by the door, but he'll also be stopped by my mine. So I'll basically be able to stall for time 2 times and be able to continue the objective before the cop even gets close to me. So let's go forward. So now I can escort the snitch throughout this entire area. And usually the big guy would be chasing me, but because I trapped him, there's nothing else really in my way. Sometimes the psychosis enemy who sprays his gas on you can spawn in from time to time, and that does add a little bit of randomization. But other than that, there is nothing stopping me, really, because that doesn't do damage to me. It just makes me go psycho bonkers crazy for a little bit. So I can escort the snitch all this way. And once I get the snitch to about right here, guess who's gonna spawn exactly where I said he would? The cop. So he barges through the door. He sees me. He walks up. I stun him. Now I can start the last part of the mission, the last objective of the mission. Now he's not stunned anymore. So now I run away. And then I continue. After I've juked him out. See, I locked another door. Now he's back. What do? I run back to my mine. He gets stunned. And I can continue and finally finish the objective. Now, there's nothing else standing in my way. So now I run to the end, and there's one more element that I find interesting. If you trap one of the enemies in this section, a new enemy will spawn. Which means that the game is somewhat aware that something happened to this enemy, but it's not exactly sure what. And because they're not sure exactly what happened, it spawns a new enemy. Sometimes it even duplicates this enemy, but instead it just spawned another version of him where he's unfortunately naked. But the point is that this guy is not supposed to spawn. Both of them are not supposed to spawn in this difficulty. But because I trapped one of the enemies, the game is confused as to what's going on, so it spawns another enemy. Because it is aware that the trial is ending, the player is about to win, and there's basically nothing standing in his way. So that is my video on logic for SGD 125. I hope you enjoyed the video. My name is Jalen Hopper, and I will see you in the next one.